Do you believe that they have more interesting footage and they chose to release this? They being the U.S. government?
Yeah, I'm just guessing that based on what the pilots have what numerous pilots have said in these types of encounters, these things behave much more amazingly than the footage they released. So David Fravor, when he encountered the Tic Tac object and it finally took off, he said it accelerated like it was shot from a gun, and it was gone in out of sight in 2 seconds. So clearly, this acceleration isn't that fast. So that's what I
Why do you
mean by
think it
that.
is that they released the video, if you were to speculate at all, the U.S. government?
That I don't know. I know that Lou Elizondo and Chris Mellon were working on the inside to try to get some of this information out, because they weren't able to freely discuss this, amongst the intelligence community. So, and so there's probably multiple concerns there. I mean, one is that if you're not able to, the Navy is having problems with these things, right? But they're not able to discuss, these objects and have it taken seriously. So now what do you do? In
Hmm.
2015, for example, they were having nearly daily encounters with UFOs. And so you've got pilots who are not trained for these types of encounters. Some of these were happening in the Persian Gulf area while they were operating, so you've got a military campaign going on. These guys are going on bombing runs in Syria, and they've got to fly through UFOs over the Persian Gulf and then go to Syria and then conduct their military operations and come back. And that's a huge hazard. I mean, you don't need a pilot shaken, from a UFO encounter and then go into a war zone. That's extremely
Hmm.
dangerous. And so that's one reason why when people say, "Oh, they're just drones and the U.S. is just testing them," no, you aren't going to test them by putting pilots in danger in a war zone.
Hmm.
That's not going to happen.
Hmm. What are some other arguments against them being drones?
I mean, first, their accelerations that we estimated are way off the charts. People can't handle much more than 10 to 15 Gs for any period of time. 13 Gs, the new F-35 fighter, I think, is rated for 13 and a half Gs. And at 13 and a half Gs, its wings will rip off. So you can't accelerate an airplane more than about 13, 15 G. Some missile frames can handle higher accelerations. They can maneuver up to about 30 Gs of acceleration, and some can structurally withstand up to about 60 Gs. So most of our equipment can't handle more than 100 Gs. And
And that's in
and
one direction, let alone stopping and then turning around.
yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you stop and turn around because you've got so many G's here and then so many G's again. So they're doing it over and over again. It's insane.
And what are the G's
And
associated with these craft?
well, the highest one we estimated was about 5,700 Gs. That was the one picked up on radar by Senior Chief Kevin Day while he was on the USS Princeton with the Nimitz Carrier Group. That's the one that drops from 28,000 feet to sea level in 0.78 seconds. So you're looking at over 5,000 Gs of acceleration in that case. The other situations were a bit lower. I think the lowest ones we had were maybe, I think the video from the 2004 Nimitz video when the targeting computer loses track and the thing takes off to the left, you're looking at about 78 Gs. The object's moving to the left and away from the airplane at that point.
See, what strikes me about this paper is